Oh, hey, it's me, Dave from before, Dave Hill from Show Business. This is the Novelizers. This week on the show, the creator of Glee, 4-time Emmy winner Ian Brennan, plus from the Colbert Report, Laura Krafft. It's the Novelizers.
Don't want your popcorn, don't want your milk duds, don't want my shoes stuck in pools of sticky cola. Don't show me romance, don't show me fist fights, just show me where it's printed out under the book lights. Yeah, baby, novelize the movie. Give me sentences, paragraphs, nothing to see. Novelize the movie. Write a book and turn it into a podcast.
Welcome to the Novelizers. I'm Stephen Levinson. You, my friend, are Dave Hill. You're our host.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Dave?
Really great. Wouldn't kill me to shower, but other than that, no notes. How are you doing?
Well, good. And I can't smell over our internet connection, so
Well, lucky you.
Don't shower.
Yeah.
I'm all right, but I'm happy to be here on the Novelizers, which is a podcast where we take classic films, we get TV writers to turn them into funny audiobooks, and we get some of our favorite voices to narrate them. And this season, what film are we novelizing? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Stephen. Dirty Dancing, the Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze vehicle that we still talk about to this day.
What an exceptional film. Dave, what is the dirtiest dance you've ever danced?
The dirtiest dance that I've ever danced is always the dance I'm about to do, because I'm always taking things to the next level, giving the finger to that level, and then keep on dancing to the next level after that. I'm that good.
Sounds pretty dirty, but in a good way.
Oh, it's dirty.
Yeah, well, today we have a really spectacular show. Glee. Who doesn't like Glee?
Love Glee. When am I not watching Glee?
Joy is right there in the name. Dave, we have a great show.
Legends.
Legends. Let's be more specific. Break it down for me. Who are those legends that we have?
I'm glad you asked, Stephen. We have Ian Brennan. He's a 4-time Emmy nominee and the BAFTA, Peabody, and 2-time Globe-winning co-creator, writer, and executive producer of Glee, Dahmer, Monster, The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, The Watcher, Scream Queens, Hollywood, The Politician, and Monsters, The Lyle and Eric Menendez Story. Does this guy got range or what?
Wow. I am exhausted just hearing how prolific that guy is.
Yeah. Also complex. I mean, to do Glee and the Lyle and Eric Menendez Story, Violander, don't even get me started. We also have Laura Krafft, whom I've been to prison with. She's a writer and actress, an ImprovOlympic and Second City alum, and she is a former staff writer for the Colbert Report and has appeared on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I did perform at Sing Sing Prison with Laura.
Really?
In 2009, yes. Oh, I'm glad you asked. You can read it about it in my book, Tasteful Nudes, my first book. I've written 4, whatever.
Where are those books available?
Wherever you get incredible literature.
Nice. And that's how you support Dave, but how do you support the podcast?
Support the podcast by supporting the Novelizers Patreon. What do you think, Steven's kids don't need food?
I've
seen them. They need food to survive.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. I was too embarrassed to ask myself, but I appreciate it.
No, I do it for the children.
So, where are we in our story, Dirty Dancing, Dave?
Oh, man. I'll tell you where we are, Stephen. Penny prepares Baby for the performance and tells her that she is scared for her abortion. Baby and Johnny perform, and although they don't land the act quite right, the audience loves it.
Sounds like kind of a downer.
Well, peaks and valleys.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure Ian Brennan will make it turn out all right.
Ian Brennan, novelize us.
Novelizers, Chapter 8, Trash, Trash, Trash. Written and narrated by Ian Brennan. I can't believe it's tonight, intoned Baby, breathless as she and Penny ran hand in hand in an inexplicable hurry to get inside a building that looked more like a funeral home than a dance studio. Honestly, there was nothing dance studio about the place. Bed and breakfast, maybe? Or like one of those places on the East Coast where you'll have been routed off of I-95 and suddenly it's only kind of a freeway because there are suddenly stoplights. And then at one of those weird, are we still on US Route 9 intersections? There's like a Napa Auto Parts, and then Kitty Corner is what looks like a house. Like there's no way it wasn't zoned purely as residential. There's like a flower boxes hanging off the windows upstairs. Like a full-on Cape Cod house built in the 1940s, but then there's a big sign out front and picnic tables, and the sign says, Rhode Island's best lobster rolls. And you realize like, oh, that's a restaurant. Like this was the place they were running towards, except a dance studio. Suddenly they stopped dead in their tracks. In the doorway, holding the metal screen door open, and again, not to belabor the point, but doesn't an aluminum screen door just scream private residence? Like, I just can't really picture a mesh screen door at the entrance of a dance studio. I just can't, and I don't think you can either. Lobster roll joint that started as a house? Fine. But seriously, if you were looking at dance schools for your son or daughter to attend, and I recommended one and said to you, yeah, go check it out, and like, if no one's there, just tuck a note in the screen door, you'd be like, screen door? Is it a dance studio or a f***ing meth lab? I'm just now coming to grips with the fact that my son wants to take dance and so is obviously gay. There's no way I'm dropping him off at what is obviously the private residence of a sex trafficking child molester. He's already in a friggin' leotard. The poor kid is practically grooming himself. Anyway, Penny and Baby stood stock still, staring at the figure holding the screen door to this quote-unquote dance studio, stunned at what they saw. There in the doorway, confused and doddering, mumbling trash, trash, trash at the knitting bag that lay inert at her feet, was quite truthfully the oldest woman that Baby or Penny have ever met or indeed laid eyes upon. Baby had to squint and let her eyes take in the visage anew, but still the only thought she could muster was, what the fuck is that? Incapable of even the tiniest movement, Penny's jaw slackened and she felt her sphincter loosen. So stunned was she at how old this woman seemed. Impossibly old was what it was, as if there was no way this mumbling, demented skeleton draped in crepe paper flesh had not sent several children to fight and die in the American Civil War. Indeed, that perhaps this hideous wraith had some hand in our nation's founding. Breathtakingly old. I'll just say it. Hideously old. Truly a kind of abomination, as if the cursed result of some centuries past run-in with a wall-eyed peddler woman in the hinterlands of the Ottoman Empire who had promised a comely young traveler everlasting beauty in exchange for some glass beads. And as she scurried away along the cobblestone, this bitch realized, wait a sec, did that woman maybe just whisper under her breath that I wouldn't die for 1,000 years? Trash, 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 she kept mumbling, low. This lady-in-waiting to Catherine the Great, possibly, as Baby and Penny gingerly tiptoed around her, opening the screen door as far as they could and kind of quietly sashaying behind the old crone who stunk of mothballs and necrosis as she gazed down through oceans of time to the knitting bag at her feet. Trash, trash, trash. I'm just gonna hold my arms out like this, and my back straight like this, said Baby, practicing a dancer's ideal posture in the dressing room inside, but also narrating as she did it, which was irritating and actually the telltale sign of a narcissist. Someone who felt compelled to fill any silence with an idle phrase or even a little tune hummed under her breath, just in case, God forbid, somebody forgot she was there. It was aggressive, really, when she did this, and Baby did it all the time. She might as well have just stamped her foot and shouted, fist clenched at her sides like a child, "Why aren't you looking at me?" But Penny's mind was elsewhere. She turned to Baby, and as if beamed from a distant universe, she bleated out the thought, I don't sleep around, you know. Baby opened her mouth to reply, but before she could manage a word, Penny continued, like, I'm not a whore, is what I'm saying. I don't know what people have told you. I don't know what you've heard, but it's all a f***ing lie. I'm not some f***ing guzzling lot lizard who'll do anything for $5, okay? I've never been by two chicks at once wearing and I don't, like, for instance, have a specialty that people kind of seek me out for, and it's definitely not that I kind of push the back up into a paying customer's abdominal cavity and then stick a into my mouth like a big slurpy noodle, and then hold it there in my mouth while two fingers on my left hand keep pushing the balls up and my other hand just straight up jerk off. I have never done that, and I definitely don't do it all the time or as a primary source of income. But I hadn't, Baby attempted. Shut the up for a second, okay? Please, you f***ing nose. Can I maybe get a word out, please? Could you maybe let me just finish a f***ing thought? Christ almighty. I'd teach you how to slap an empty just to shut you up a second. Jesus, Penny sighed, loosing a lungful of air. Then, I'm just trying to communicate to you that I'm not some sloppy whore, okay? I don't gobble dicks all day. I don't, like, spend my day showering off my person. I don't manually pleasure homebound obese women to climax on a set schedule that takes me all around the region, okay? I don't. I just don't, is what I'm saying. That's not me, and if you've heard that it is, well then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe that the person telling you that is a liar, and maybe you need to be more careful picking friends if one of them is that big of a liar. With that, she gave a satisfied little huff and turned and strutted out of the room. Baby just watched her go. The next thing she knew, Baby was standing out on the stage. The Sheldrake Hotel is proud to present Johnny Castle and partner in Mambo Magic. She could feel Johnny's body against her, his hands on her hips. They were nervous but ready. But hold on a sec. A thought interrupted her as the music began, the Latin swing of the bongos practically begging their hips to start sashaying. But the thought held Baby transfixed. She couldn't move past it. She turned to him squarely and said, "Wait, Castle? Your name is Johnny Castle?" The groove of the music kicked in, but she just stood there, nailing it down. "Your actual, God-given name is Johnny Castle?" Johnny's eyes darted to the audience and back, a nervous "yes" as his hands attempted to jostle her hips into motion. But it was like moving stone. "Hold up. Nope. Cut the music," she shouted, making a throat-slicing gesture to the booth. "Just hold on a second, please." The music cut out. Silence. "Sorry, just one sec." She turned back to him. His eyes were wide with shock. What the was she doing? Baby cleared her throat with a tiny ahem and said simply, "No, it's not." "No, what's not?" he asked. "There is no way." Silence. That's your name." She turned to the audience. "I mean, back me up here." Then back to his look of complete surprise. "That's just not a real name. You're telling me your surname is Castle?" "Yes. I have never once heard that as a last name. What nationality is that?" "Welsh," he stammered. That's what she thought he'd say. Baby was now a dog with a bone. "Oh, no. No. I'm not an ethnographer, okay? I'm not some scholar of the pre-Roman Celts, right? I'll give you that. But I'm pretty sure that if you were Welsh, your last name wouldn't be Castle. It'd be like Lowenthal or some Wouldn't be Castle, my friend. Pretty sure it wouldn't be both the very symbol and instrument of imperial domination and ethnic and linguistic cleansing. Wouldn't you agree?" Johnny was shaking. A terrified whisper. "Why are you doing this?" Baby's hands flew to the sky. "Doing what? As far as I can tell, all I'm doing is asking some questions. Is that illegal now?" She threw the histrionic gesture to the audience for a moment, then back. A pin could drop. No one in the room could move a muscle. Baby's hands found her hips, and she canted forward at her waist, pissed now, and hissed, "Show me your driver's license." "My what? Do you need me to say it in Welsh?" "Your driver's license, please," doing enormous air quotes, "Johnny Castle." Her hands flew to her mouth with a faux gasp, then, "Or is it Hiram Berkowitz? Or Israel Shlomovitz?" Johnny sputtered feeble. "Wait, so you just think I might be Jewish?" Her hands flew up again, her body an incredulous histrionic why. "Well, you sure ain't Welsh! Not with a name like Castle!" "I don't have it." She leaned in again, her hand to her ear. "Wahaza? Huh? Como se dice? Parlez-vous Welsh? I said I don't have it," he said, louder now, something in him growing. "I don't have my license with me." "Oh, how convenient," then pointed. "How did you get here tonight? You walk?" "I drove." "Oh, you drove, did you? But no license. Ha! What the kind of name is Baby?" His eyes went wide as the words left his mouth. At first he wished he could grab them and shove them back in, but seeing her face as that simple question landed, suddenly he felt his spine stiffen. Like, is that a nickname? No. It took her 2 tries for her to get the word out. Now it was his turn with his hand to the ear. "What's that now?" I said, "No, it's not a nickname. My name is Baby." "Your name is Baby?" "Yeah." "Like on your birth certificate?" "Yes." "It says Baby?" "Yes." Do you have a middle name? Marie. Marie. Yes, Baby Marie Houseman, he interrupted, nailing it down. Yes. Silence. Johnny cleared his throat, then said, your mother birthed you. And then said, and she wasn't just looking down and kind of saying the noun of the thing that she just saw tearing out of her, right? Like she wasn't just naming the thing she saw. She was naming you. Baby. Yes. She didn't just say, oh, look, a baby. No, you're saying it was more like, oh, look, a baby. Let's name it Baby. Her. Let's name her Baby. Yes, that's what happened. Bull. More or less, Johnny would have none of it. You. That's bull. Nobody has ever, still going, turning to the audience for one ever, then back to her, ever named a baby. You might call a baby, like, oh, hello, baby, or even the idea dawns on him, getting the nickname Baby because your real name is like Dorothy or Millicent and you hate it. So when you go to middle school, you're like, oh no, my name is Baby now. Everybody has to call me Baby. Millicent stayed at Fairview Elementary. Babies who came to Washington Middle School. It is. My name is Baby, said Baby weakly, completely broken. But Johnny Castle would have none of it. You. No way. Off. You want to lie to yourself? Fine. Have your real name be Baby, but I'll be a monkey's uncle if you expect me to stand here and nod and say, okay, your actual real life name is Baby. Go yourself. And actually, I hope that is true. I hope your dumb mother who just names things as the things that they are the moment she sees them sits at the head of the table every Thanksgiving and goes around to all the children and says, children, let's go around the table one by one and say what we're thankful for. You go first, Baby, then window, then room, then nurse. Stop, Baby whispered. Then bedpan, then forceps, then, oh, my own poop on the floor, then stop, she pleaded. No, you know what? You stop with the lying, Millicent. How dare you play us for fools? Me, he turned to the audience, them? These good people who came here for no other reason than to enjoy an evening of amateur dance? How dare you, Baby? As he stormed off, he continued, how dare you? Baby stood for a moment, forgetting where she was, somehow finding herself outside of time. Then she snapped to, suddenly aware of the heat of the embarrassment in her cheeks. She wanted to run off the stage, but something out of the corner of her eye stopped her. A figure in the audience, standing. She could barely make it out in the glare, but there she was, the old lady from the doorway. The hideous, ancient old crone just standing there laughing, howling at her, but making no sound at all. A chill ran up Baby's spine as she watched this old crone point a crooked finger at her, soundlessly laughing, a cackle 1,000 years in the making, silent. Had she just been cursed? Baby shook her head no as she ran off the stage, but she knew the answer. The answer was probably.
Well, Stephen, as you know, on every episode we interview someone who worked on the actual film. This episode's no different. Let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another interview portion of the Novelizers. I am Kevin Carter and I'm here with Laura Krafft, who has some very detailing information she would like to share with everybody on the podcast. Laura, how's it going today?
I mean, it's going okay. This is the subject of Dirty Dancing is bringing up a lot of rough memories for me, but it's going okay. Other than that, the sun is out. It's a pretty day. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's why we're here, to talk about the movie, because I feel like people love the movie and feel it's a great movie, and everything about it is timeless, But let's get right into it. What is the bombshell information you would like to share with the audience?
I mean, it's those who know the movie probably already know this, but there's a song that I was the movie basically has one very famous song called And I submitted for that theme song. I'm also a writer. A lot of people don't know that about me, that I like
Okay.
to,
Yeah.
I write songs in my spare time. And, they reached out to me. They said, hey, we've got this movie. We're looking for a theme song. We were hoping maybe you could submit something. And I looked at the movie. I whipped something off that I thought was pretty good, and sent it in, and it was rejected.
And then they chose to go with "I've Had the Time of My Life."
They went with "I've Had
Mm-hmm.
the Time of My Life," and the song that I submitted was "I've Had a Pretty Good Time."
Okay. Because I guess
That was the title of the song.
Yeah. So I've seen the movie, and to me, hearing "I've Had the Time of My Life" while that dance is going on, it seemed pretty iconic, and it seemed kind of to work with, what had already transpired throughout the movie, right? So
Does it? Have you seen the movie?
yeah, I've seen the movie. Yeah, I thought they had a good time. I thought that it was the time of their lives.
Is that okay? In your lifetime, the time of their lives. What is that saying about their life? They take all of this money, their vacation money,
Yeah.
and they go to the Catskills. They go to a camp in the Catskills. That's the time of your life. You've gone to the Catskills, to a summer camp where you're yelled at like you're a child, but you're a grown person. That's
Yeah.
the time of your life. I've had the time of your life. That's why I submitted, I've had a pretty good time. I mean, I think that suits the movie more. She went to the summer camp. She met a guy. He's a little squirrely.
Yeah.
She learned how to do the mamba, the cha-cha. She had a pretty good time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, would it have been the time of my life? Probably
Yeah.
not. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not rich. I'm not rich with a lot of money that parents can just afford for me to go ballroom dancing during a summer camp. I'm not that rich. Now, if I was a rich white woman with a lot of money and their parents did everything, that might have been the time of my life. That may have been that have been the peak. But I don't know. So I feel like what you're saying is perfect for the average American. The average person, it was a pretty good time. It wasn't all that, but it was a pretty good time.
It's a pretty good time. I mean,
Yes.
think about like the meals. The meals were like in a cabin.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a castle, not like, someplace with, I don't know, a footman. Like if I'm going to have the time of my life, I want a footman or a valet.
What is a footman?
A footman is someone who stands to the left of you and like provides you with, your iced water or your, a footman, a valet,
Okay.
something. It's not just
Okay. Yeah.
people at a camp. I mean, I worked at a camp. It was fine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I apologize for the question. I've never heard of a footman. I immediately thought OnlyFans when you said footman, so that's my fault. I apologize for that.
I'm talking the time of my life. Even that, even if it's like the time of my life is, someone, if that's what you're into, but a summer camp in
Yeah.
the Catskills.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that, the song didn't fit the movie.
It's a competitive summer camp.
Yeah.
With like teaching cha-cha and it's been a long time since I've submitted for that movie. So I haven't seen it since because out of outrage for not being chosen.
Yeah. I get it.
But
So what was the theme? Like, well, not theme, but like, what was your song about? You know what I'm saying? When you came to a pretty good time, what was your song about?
thank you so much. I mean, it's very similar to I've Had the Time of My Life. I don't know if they heard me or if I heard them or how that worked, but mine went, I've had a pretty good time. I'm stuck in the woods in a weird place. It's kind of New York, but it might be another state like Pennsylvania. No one knows. We had food in a cafeteria. All the old ladies gossiped on a bench. I had nothing to do. I was treated like an outcast by everybody. So I became friends with the people who worked there, and they didn't really want to include me. I had to fight, and eventually everyone, through a series of circumstances, because my father happened to be a doctor, I was sort of respected, but it took a long time, and even then we're not really sure why. So it ended up being a pretty good time. I wish it was Paris, but it wasn't. It was the woods of a nondescript rural place. There wasn't a city nearby or an interesting landscape. It was just woods and pathways and porches and a pond.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I loved every word. I feel like listening to it, I felt the movie. I feel like it was everything that the movie was about.
Thank you.
Yes, I would if I had any pull, I would sign up, start a petition to get the movie taken down and add yours to it. Nice little dub over with your song, you know what I'm saying, while they were dancing and stuff. And I apologize for that. That's a great song.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If nothing else, I mean, I really think a theme song, in my estimation, as a secretive but somewhat established and successful songwriter, should be something that embodies what the movie was actually about, and not just, tacked on at the end for a trailer, which is, I think, what they did.
Yeah, it seemed like that song was huge, but I feel like you only heard it at the end. You know what I'm saying? When I watched Bad Boys 2, Shake Your Tail Feather by Nelly was played throughout the entirety of the movie. Every time they had a chance, they played that one song. So
I was up for that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nelly's beaten me on a bunch of different things. Like I had even like for the pop charts, I had submitted, "It's getting chilly in here. Does anyone have an extra layer in the back of their car that I can put on?" And then "It's getting hot in here" was, I guess, preferable. And I still don't understand what happened.
I mean, I guess it seems like it's almost like you're ahead of your time, and everybody is like kind of taking what you're doing and just doing the opposite of it. It feels like a Seinfeld episode with George and Elaine doing the complete opposite of what's going on. That's what it feels like right now.
Only real life, Kevin.
Yes, real life. Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. I'm sorry to hear that. What got you into like songwriting in the first place?
It's just a way that I go through my life, a way that I approach things. I sing a song every day. My memories are accompanied by music. I associate people with songs. Everything. So I'm a very musical person. There's that thing where people think in terms of colors. I think in terms of song. And so, it wasn't a big leap to have this become, like even today, there's construction going on right outside my window. And some people could be annoyed by that, but I choose to think of it as like, jackhammers blasting. I'm trying to think, everybody sing. And that like helps me,
Yeah. So it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of your songs, they don't necessarily have choruses or hooks. They're just telling you about what's going on. And I feel like that's what's missing in the music world, honestly, is the idea of like, I want detail. I want to understand what's happening. I don't want a repetitive situation. And it seems like your music is just straight through. Is that correct?
Kevin, are you not familiar with the subset of music called observational musicality? I
am not.
Oh, it's a whole school of thought. I mean, I would love to say that I'm the first person to come up with this, but there's a whole world of, observational musicality. And it's like, it takes the listeners on a journey to, what is that? What is the composer seeing right now? What was the composer seeing right then? But we don't still have futuristic observational composition because, that never really caught on.
Yeah. Did you ever, like, even with the Nelly situation with The Time of My Life, did you ever try to go to like the courts or anything like that? Because it's what's hard is that all of their songs sound very similar to yours, and freaking Pharrell and the other guy for Blurred Lines, they just got sued by the Marvin Gaye estate for the whole idea, messing up that stuff. So they actually had to pay money. So I think it's something you can look into.
Yeah, he and Pharrell and Alan Thicke were sued.
There it is.
Yeah, for the Blurred Lines was very similar to Marvin Gaye's song. I can't remember what song that was, but the difference is that, I mean, first of all, I will say I'm not that welcome in St. Louis, and doesn't help that I have a bit of an apple bottom. But I'm not welcome. And
yes, it's a lot of gang violence in St. Louis. I'm pretty sure. Many
Air Force Ones as you can imagine, I would have. Still not that welcome.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, for people in St. Louis, it would be pronounced Air Force Ones.
Yep. Air Force.
But I think the thing that's interesting is that if you look at the timeline, the songs that I'm creating are just a second before theirs.
Yeah.
So the courts are really me just not wanting to spend my extra money on the hassle of knowing that the courts are often, especially in this past, with all the way that the courts have been weighed.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a fair trial. So, I don't like to spend the money, but my songs are usually first.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, and it's clear, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, people watching this starts to, you know what I'm saying, look at that song a little differently. You know what I'm saying? You motherfuckers, you stole this one. You know what I'm saying?
Goes back to Laura Krafft.
Yep. It goes
There's
back
not
to
many
Laura
songs
Krafft.
that don't go back to Laura Krafft.
Exactly. Exactly. I love your idea on music. I love your thought and your process in creating music, right? I have a question for you because I feel like I do this sometimes. I want to know if you do this as well. Sometimes I can look at a person and I may know a person and I can put a song to their life, like of how they are to me. Like, oh no, you're very this type of person. But the person I'm telling them they are, it's just a song. You know, is that a thing, or am I crazy?
Wait, I'm trying to figure out what you've said. So you'll see a person, or maybe you know a person, and you put a song to them. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Like when I look at you and hearing you talk and everything like that, I'm immediately thinking California Love. I'm thinking Tupac, Dr. Dre, California Love, Roger Troutman. I'm thinking of the whole thing. That's the vibe you give me. You know what I'm saying? So
I probably remind you a little bit of the video where it's like a big desert fight.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny that you say that because I had a song that came out right before that song, actually. I mean, I'm talking seconds before that song was released, called California Like. And, you know, it came out after I'd moved to California. And, you know, I was living in a closet, and it was it's the beginning of my time. And yeah, it was okay. I liked it. It was different than where I'm from, which is Illinois. So I was like, California Like, bum, bada, bum, 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 bum. California.
So you had the bass line and everything too. You had the whole thing. Okay.
Bass line, the same bass line.
Yeah.
It was, you know, California, you're okay. California, you're all right. You know, that was
this is just bananas, and you know that
I mean,
this keeps happening.
I think you see a trend though where, you know, it's hard to impress me. So it's not often that a song that comes out, you know, where I have had the idea beforehand, where I'm really blown away. I'm like, it's okay. Yeah. You know, everyone needs to take it down a notch.
Yep, I get it. So question for you. Have you ever wrote a song, then somebody else took it, right, seconds later? Has that ever happened? And then you thought to yourself, you know what? They did do it better. Has that ever happened?
Wow, Kevin. Ouch.
I mean, sometimes we just got to be real with ourselves. That's all. I apologize.
Have I ever heard somebody who's ripped me off and changed a couple of words to more hyperbolic words typically and thought that's better? No.
Yeah. As you said it back, I was like, damn, that was a dumb question. That was really a dumb question. I apologize for that.
Wait, I'm trying to think. I've had a long life, written a lot of songs. Have I ever heard a song and thought, all right, pretty good? I guess Thriller.
Excuse me?
Thriller, you know the song Thriller?
Like the Thriller?
I was like, he did a pretty good job.
Like the King of Pop Thriller?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Same with, I guess, Blondie, you know, Heart of Glass. Not bad. I had Lungs of Lead. Didn't work as much. A little bit more, you know, heavy, if you will.
Have there been any songs that actually got through that like, this is my song and I did it. Here it is, world.
Well, the thing was like, one side of love, one side I like. It was okay. You know, Lungs of Lead, it went away. Seemed like it would be okay. It started to rust. Life's okay. Kind of a bust. Just didn't, I don't know why it didn't hook in. And then I heard hers. I was like, oh, Heart of Glass. You know, that's much more happy. I get it. I get some of it sometimes, you know, that one I understood. But
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. It's okay. I'm out here trying. I'm still struggling. I'm working as hard as I can. I'm dancing as fast as I can, if you will.
Yeah. Has anything else happened, like far as any more music that you was able to write that gave you any inspiration out there?
I write every day.
That's fine.
I'm writing a. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You're writing a what?
I'm trying to. Sometimes I've got to remember what my theme songs are. I had a couple Marvel ideas, and then got scrapped. I had a great song for Batgirl, and then that movie got put in the scrapper. So you know, business.
Yeah, it got to be. I'm pretty sure it's a tough business. You know what I'm saying? It's a very cutthroat, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are, you know what I'm saying, taking people's stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? I understand that.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I haven't told anybody this, or many people. I write screenplays and stuff like that. And you're the first person I've interviewed on this podcast about that involves music, you know? And I want to know, I'm gonna give you the name of it. I just want to know if you can come up with a theme song for it. And I think it'll be okay. The name of the screenplay will be called Carrie Just Okay. Like, so instead of like karaoke, it's Carrie Just Okay. You know what I'm saying? So we put the jest in there to be like, it's just okay. You know what I'm saying? And and I need a theme song for that. And it's based off of music. It's based off of somebody doing karaoke, and they actually interject their own music into the karaoke thing or whatever. Okay. So now it's like, people thinking they're singing some famous song. Well, this is just their song that they're singing through karaoke, and that's how they get their drive. You know, so they interject their own music into karaoke slots.
Pretty genius that you're doing that, because karaoke has the karaoke in the name, you know, it's right there. So it's karaoke. You've got that. You've got that going for you. Don't ever forget that, Kevin. That's I can't. The lead actress, her name would be Carrie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Her name is Carrie. So it moves everything. And it's a powerful story about doing what you can to get your voice heard. You know, and after hearing your story, I feel like it'll be a great project that you to come up with a theme song with. And I promise you, no one will take it. Nobody will take it. It'll be yours. You'll get all the credit. So it's about a person named Carrie who's doing what they can to get ahead. Well, I mean, you've got Carry Water, right? That's in there. Carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. They're doing that. They've got Carry On, which is a dead body.
Yep. Or luggage. Like you're traveling.
There's your hook.
Yep.
There's your observational hook. Carry On. It's 2 for 1.
Oh, this is great.
It's a dead body and luggage that you don't have to pay for.
This is
karaoke. It's okay.
Yeah.
Karaoke as much as you can. Carry on. Carry over. Carry hold.
This is beautiful. I'm very happy to hear this. And I thank you for that. And speaking of which, I want to thank you for joining us today for this interview portion. I think it was good to hear your story. I think you're going to change a lot of people's minds, and they're going to listen a little bit more. You know what I'm saying, about these songs. Like, I wonder if Laura did this first. You know, so I want to thank you for being on the podcast. And I hope they know
I probably did.
At this point, it's safe to assume that you did, regardless of the song. You've done it first.
Yeah, because it is okay. An okay evening. That was my.
I thought it was okay. All right. Thank you for that.
I thought you asked for a little bit of that song.
I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm feeling okay. La 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 la. Yeah.
Listen, everybody, you heard it here first. Laura Krafft has just came up with a theme song for my new screenplay, and I want to thank her for joining us today on the Novelizers. Everybody have a good one.
Thank you.
Fascinating. That was great.
I learned something new every day.
Yeah.
On this show, not in life.
That's our show for tonight, and I assume people are listening to in the evening.
Yeah. You have to think.
Yeah.
It's always the night somewhere.
Tune in next week for another spectacular episode of the Novelizers.
That's right. What's that?
This is our symbol for do the credits.
Oh, wait, what symbol did you have?
This means throw to the credits.
Welp, we did it again. Another episode of the Novelizers in the can. I'm Dave Hill from Show Business. Stephen Levinson, take it away.
With pleasure, Dave. Special thanks to this week's guests, Ian Brennan, Laura Krafft. The Novelizers is hosted by Dave Hill with Stephen Levinson and produced by Stephen, Cole Emhoff, Graham Douglas, Kevin Carter, Christine Bullen, Dennis DeClaudio, and Rob Kuttner, and distributed by Cincinnati Public Radio. Mixed and edited by Graham Douglas. Music by Cole Emhoff. Art direction by Crystal Dennis. Theme song written by Andrew Lynn and performed by Nick Testa. Follow the Novelizers on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and support us on Patreon. The Novelizers is an unauthorized work of parody. Copyright 2025, Novelizers, LLC. Take us out, Dave Hill.
There was a baby put in the corner. There was a guy who could give your mama boner. He taught her dancing, it took a minute, and she flew into his arms just like an egret. Novelize that movie, write a book, and also read it to me.